Okay, we're going to talk about trap lines, the way you stow them, deploying them, and some people like putting them in buckets and stuff like that. But me personally, I like an extension cord drill. That works really good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain how we do it. Plain and simple. Go ahead, take the marker. Go ahead and put a bunch of slots around there. Don't cut the slots too close to the holes. And the extension cord drill, you get it at Walmart, man. They're like $3 or something like that. It's worth it to save you the aggravation of putting the trap line out. I'll go ahead and I'll mark it. And what I do, I come back later on and I cut these with a jigsaw. Now, you want to put them on the opposite side of the handle. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, and I'll be back. Yeah, I got one cut out. I didn't cut that one out that I'm showing you, but I want to touch on something else first before I show you how to finish that up. The trout lines, you know, you can go ahead and just tie your stuff, tie your leaders on your main line. But you go out there, you pull them up, you got a mess. You got your lines all tangled up. Your drop lines ain't no good no more because the fish you got on there done destroyed it, broke off, broke free. Sometimes your trout lines might be in two separate pieces. You got to pull one up over there, broke in the middle somewhere, and you got to go find the other end of it and dig it up. What stopped a lot of that for me is I put swivels on my trout lines. I make my own trout lines. I was buying them from Walmart with them, I got it out here with me. Just them little 25 hook lines, got the little blue beads on it, and the little clips. It comes with these little clips. Where they at? Comes with these little clips, and you just squeeze the clip, put it on the trout line itself, and let it go. And it has a swivel on the bottom of it, and you tie your leader to it. Well, that swivel is a lifesaver. But them trout lines, for the money they want for them, I don't think they're worth it. I don't think they're very good. I just assume go ahead and go out and buy the line. This is that 350-pound line I get at Walmart, and it's pretty much almost used up. But anyway, I'll go ahead and I'll buy some offshore swivels. This is like a 150-pound swivel, and say you want yourself a 25 lead trout line. You go ahead and put 25 of these on the string. Then you go ahead, you pick your space out, how far you want the thing down in there. Like say I want this one about that far. You take it and you just loop it around on itself to where you got a loop. Just take your fingers and twist it. Open up the gap, pull the swivel up through the hole, and then just slide it back shut. And then just pull it and tighten it up. And there you go. You're making your own trout line. It's costing you a hell of a lot less money. And you got a swivel on there that's going to help go ahead and save your lines. And you go ahead and put about a foot on there, tie your hook on the one end, and go ahead and secure it to this end. And I'll tell you what, man, it's a lot cheaper than buying things from Walmart. Okay, back to stowing the trout line. I've got this one already on here, and I really don't need to go ahead and make another reel right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you all with this one. Now, I got two trout lines on this one. I got the 10-aught mustard hook for a live bait line, and I got some smaller ones I think there's about 10 hooks, 10 smaller hooks on here too. And that's for a cut bait line. I just put them on there. It was so little hooks on there, so I went ahead and I put my bigger ones on there. But when you roll this thing up, you want to make sure that the line with the hook don't have no slack in it. The trout line, the black line itself, it could have slack in it, but you don't want the hook to have any slack. You go ahead and find a place to put that on there, and when you roll that around there, you make sure that hook's tight. Go ahead and pull it around there. Now see, the green line's tight and the black line's slack. That's not going to cause any problem when you go ahead and unload it, when you go to put it out. But I do suggest don't put 2 trout lines on the same reel, because it gets a little aggravating. I did it at the time because I didn't have another spare extension cord reel, and I didn't think it'd be a big deal. Well, if I go to use that at night trying to put this trout line out, I'm going to be upset. But I can't blame nobody but myself, and that's how I got these set up on here. I went ahead and made my loops, put my swivels on there, got my drop line on there, and put my hook on there like that. I don't know what that knot's called, but all the knots I use, it gives you like 95% strength of the rope. You could go ahead and literally, if you have a 100-pound rope, you could tie a knot in it to where when the fish grabs it, it pulls down on it, and the rope itself will pull tight on itself, but it will cut itself like 25-pound fish, or I mean it won't hold a fraction of the weight that it's supposed to hold. So you got to watch what type of knots you put, and when you put them on there, make sure it's tight. If it ain't tight, you're gonna have a mess. And I got a little bit of slack in it. I'll go ahead and move it back one more. There you go, it's tight that time. But this will save you a lot of nightmare. And unlike a bucket, I ain't knocking the bucket. Some people like the bucket. I don't want nothing to do with the bucket. The only thing I use the bucket for is my bush hooks. They're all individual lines. For a trout line, a bucket, I believe you're asking for a nightmare. But this is the way to go for a trout line. You can throw this thing, it ain't going to get messed up. It's I'm not going to say foolproof, because anything could get messed up depending on who you are. I mean, all these other hooks on here is kind of messing me up too, but you know. And my leads are actually a little long for this line. I got them a little longer than I normally do, so that's taking a little more to go ahead and wrap it up there. But I mean, that's pretty much what you got. I make all my own stuff. I hardly ever buy anything from the store. I don't like spending the money on it. It's a lot cheaper than you go out. And make it yourself. And then when you get to the end, now I go ahead and I tie knots in them. I crimp them. This one I crimped, messing around, seeing how I like it. Seems to hold pretty good. It didn't slide or anything. I don't think I'll do it again. I think I'll just go ahead and knot the end of it. But this is what I connect. Either connect it to my float, or connect it to the concrete anchor. This will actually get connected to the concrete anchor just because the hook's like right there. It's a foot off the end of this line. And you just take it and you wrap it around there. Pick one of them slots that you cut and put it in there, and you ain't got to worry about your hooks falling up, knotting up. I mean, it's proven. It's definitely proven. I like it.